Thank you so much for joining today. And I do feel like I'm a water expert now after that previous session. So thank you for that. It was very interesting. I want to start today by getting you involved and asking a few questions. So question number one, who's heard of blockchain or cryptocurrency?
Yeah. 请问大家有听过区块链或者是加密货币吗？
Show of hands.
请稍微举一下手。
Okay, fantastic. Who holds tokens or cryptocurrency currently?
你现在目前有这些加密货币，或是有在交易的？
Okay. And then how many of you have heard of stablecoins?
那有多少人听过稳定币呢？
Okay, fantastic. Okay. Well, I'll do my best to try and make a somewhat dry subject as interesting as possible.
那我会试着把这个很无聊的主题讲得有趣一点。
So I work for a company called Circle.
那我的公司叫做 Circle。
So what we're tackling right now is we're trying to solve for a highly fragmented industry where the exchange of value is both difficult, inefficient, and expensive. Our mission specifically is to bring down the barriers that currently cause this friction and allow for more open access to the global economy.
那通过的公司，我们在处理的就是这个价值的传输，在目前的环境里面，价值传输它是高摩擦的，所以是有相当的困难跟挑战在当中。那通过的公司在稳定币货币数位货币的这边发行，我希望可以连接传统的一个支付方式跟现在的这些加密货币。
So Circle are the sole issuers of two stablecoins. The first being USDC, which some of you may have heard of, and EuroC.
那我们公司负责的是 USDC 跟 EuroC， 是欧元 C 这个。
We also provide infrastructure that's institutional grade that allows you to build businesses that use these stablecoins.
那同时，我们也提供连接传统支付与区块链的企业等级基础设施的监管框架。
Beyond that, we also have treasury management solution and programmable solutions that allow you to automate paying and payout processes.
除了在不影响原有业务的情况之下，我们也提供大家可以转变资金管理的方式，然后同时也提高在全球业务效率以及自动化程度可以自动化解决的这些方法。
And to give you a brief history, obviously blockchain and cryptocurrency has been around for several years, but it's become mainstream in the last few years. However, Circle itself has existed since 2013. It's very early to solve this problem of reducing the barriers of value exchange.
那我必须说，Circle 这家公司在2013年成立至今，我们的这个主要目标就是减少在支付上面的这个摩擦。
And over the last 3 years, we've announced fairly large partnerships with well-known brands such as Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, and we've also increased the circulating supply of USDC, which is the amount of US dollars on this blockchain, to around $43 billion.
那在过去几年里面，加密货币才开始慢慢在世界上成为主流。那我们合作的伙伴有 Visa、万萨卡，还有是美国的支付，像是 Stripe 等这些主要的公司。那我们的这个交易的流通量其实也增长到430亿美金。
Now, I want to spend a few minutes talking specifically about the stablecoin. So Circle is the organization, but the main product or the main offering is USDC.
那我必须说，我们公司主要的产品是 USDC。那虽然说我们还有处理很多其他的金融业务。
So what USDC allows you to do is to reimagine global commerce. Currently, we have these high frictions within global commerce, and USDC allows you to have an internet-based value transfer. So right now, through the internet, you can transfer data, you can transfer information, but for some reason, we haven't been able to truly transfer value since the inception of the internet, and USDC allows you to do that.
那 USDC 是基于区块链技术的数位美元，它提供全球崭新的一个商业模式。我们希望可以降低在这个价值转换上面的这些摩擦。 那可以让它在网络上面可以取代传统的方式来去转移价值。在过去，价值转移这件事情是有相当挑战，但是目前我们可以提供一个新的方法。
And these funds can be moved around the world instantly, and they're also a part of the ever-expanding ecosystem. If you compare users that were interacting with Web3 technology or blockchain 5 years ago compared to today, you'll see that the growth has been exceptional.
所以，通过我的公司，我可以帮助你在资金的转移上面是毫无摩擦的，可以在不同的国家之间。那同时，通过 USDC 你也可以加入一个全新的一个生态系统。那在过去几年，你可以看到 Web3 跟这些区块链的使用者人数是急剧上升的。
So, it's important to understand certain characteristics of USDC. The first and most important one is that it is fully backed by US dollars, meaning that one single USDC token represents exactly $1 US.
那首先 USDC 有几个特点你必须要注意，第一个就是稳定，1块钱的 USDC 是有1块钱美金的这个储备。
Right. Now these reserves are fully transparent. We have monthly audits that are performed and published. We have weekly reports showing where these reserves are held, whether they're in treasury bills or short-term dated instruments. And then we have custody with the largest US institutions, including BlackRock, which was recently announced that will hold a significant amount of the US dollar reserves.
那我必须要说的，这样的一个储备其实它是非常透明的。我们每个月都有会计师的会计的这些监管的证明，然后同时每周也都有相关的报告。那我们也把这些储备储存在美国主要的金融机构，像是贝莱德等。
In its current form, we have about 190 countries that use or interact with USDC, and we have experienced 5,000% growth over the last 2 years.
那如果你要说使用者的话，那我们的使用者目前是来自于790多个国家。你可以在这些国家找到说可以支援 USDC 交易的一个方法。那就使用量来说的话，你可以从2020年开始，我们成长将近5000%。
Now, what's really important here is that at any point in time, the amount of US dollars that Circle holds is always greater than the amount of USDC in circulation.
那还有一个很重要的一点，就是在 Circle 我们所储备的这些美金，在任何的时期都是大于我们所印制的这些 USDC 的。
And the reason why this is important is because you may have heard in the news, obviously, situations such as Terra and Luna and other types of stablecoins. They are different types where they don't hold the actual reserve, and that's what makes Circle quite different.
这样的一个储备方式是很重要的，因为你有可能听过 Terra 或者是 Luna 这些代币，那它是没有这样的一个美金的储存的。
So how do we do this? How does it practically work? Well, it's actually fairly simple.
那我们的运作方式其实是非常简单的。
Yeah. So our users simply transfer US dollars into a bank account.
所以你只要把美金转入银行账户。
Circle takes these US dollars, puts it within a reserve account, whether it's at BlackRock or certain institutions within the US.
所以接下来 Circle 就会把你账户里面的这些美金再转到Circle 的储备账户，有可能是像贝莱德或者是其他的金融机构。
And then the magic happens where Circle then mints the corresponding USDC for each dollar that's being deposited.
然后接下来，当我们每把你的1块美金储存到我们储备账户的时候，我们就会铸造相同金额的 USDC。
The last step, obviously, being that the USDC is then transferred to the customer's account.
然后最后一步就是把 USDC 转到你的这个使用者账户里。
Now, this entire process will generally take between 1 to 3 days from transferring the US dollars and receiving the USDC.
那这个过程通常会花到3天左右的时间，就是从你的账户里面提取美金，然后接下来储备，然后接下来才铸造。
However, the real advantage comes once you receive that USDC token.
但是真正的好处是来自于你收到了 USDC 这个代币的当下。
The token then allows you to transfer these dollar representative tokens at lightning speed which means you can transfer it to businesses, customers, users almost instantly without any fees.
那真正的好处是，当你持有 USDC 的时候，你可以用非常快速的方式来去转移它。你要付费给你的顾客，或者是转移到某个账号，都是几乎立即就可以发生的。
It's also irreversible and immutable. And the reason why that's important is because in traditional payment rails, you have the risk of chargeback. However, using blockchain technology in USDC, that risk is eliminated. There is no such thing as chargeback. Once a transaction is finalized, those funds will stay there.
那我必须要说，它是有别于传统金融方式在金额在金钱上面的一个转移的方式，它没有任何其他额外的这些收取的费用。所以，当你把这个金额转出去的时候，它就在那里，你不会再说，接下来你还要再被收取其他的费用的。
This also means that because effectively money is moving over the internet, there is no operation hours. It is always accessible 24/7, 7 days a week.
那我必须要说，因为它是透过网络来去执行，所以这是全年无休24小时，1年365天都可以随时随地来去进行的。
So USDC will increase efficiency, but will also allow you to grow your business.
所以使用 USDC 不只是让你在价值的转移上面提高了效率，它同时也帮助你能够大大的成长你的事业。
You'll get exposed to a completely new ecosystem of users, of suppliers, of developers, of protocols that you wouldn't have access to unless you were using blockchain infrastructure.
那我必须要说，通过 USDC， 你可以进入到全新的一个生态环境，你可以接触到不同的使用者、不同的服务供应商、不同的开发者，甚至是不同的这些 protocol 来去进行你的工作。
Now, again, what this means for you practically is that you can reach users that you've never had access to. There are countries and geographies that do not have easy access to traditional payment rails. However, they do have access to cryptocurrencies. This allows you to reach them.
那我必须要说，在某些国家或者是在这些地缘政治的情况之下，有些地方你是没有办法通过传统的一个金融方式来进行支付的，但是这些国家他们是可以使用加密货币的方式来去进行价值的交换。
Now, of course, when we're talking about payment infrastructure and payment rails, one of the biggest and most important issues is around compliance and regulation.
那当我们在讲这个价值交换跟金钱支付的时候，最高重视的就是它的法规的合规性。
And this is really where Circle and USDC is quite different to everything else in the market, because we have a money transmitter license, an MTL, within over 46 states in the US.
那我必须要说，在法规监管这部分，就是 USDC Circle 跟别家公司不一样的地方。因为我们在46个州里面，在美国46个州里面，我们是有相当合法授权的。
And the infrastructure is built specifically for regulated financial institutions. And what that means is that we have to comply with the same regulation as people like PayPal, Visa, Apple Pay, and all of the traditional networks.
那我必须要说，合规的一个重点就是说，你必须要符合法规的一个监管，你必须要符合法规的这些要求。所以，当我们合规之后，你可以看到，我们跟 PayPal、我们跟 Visa、我们跟这些 Apple Pay 是符合同样的一个法规的要求的。
And that regulation obviously means that the security standards that we need to hold for storing or transferring the assets are effectively the highest that are available in the market.
那这合规了之后，同时这也要求我们在安全性这边提供相当高的一个保障。所以，当你把USDC 放在我们这里的时候，你可以知道说我们在保管它的时候，在转移它的时候，都要符合相当的一个安全要求。
Okay. So now we have a base level understanding of USDC, I hope. What does it mean for gaming? And why am I in this gaming conference talking about USDC? Let's unpack that.
所以我们刚刚大概简单的认识了 USDC 它的功能，但是为什么我会出现在亚太游戏高峰会？它跟游戏有什么关系
？Now, in my personal view, Web3 gaming offers two main things. One is ownership of in-game assets.
那我必须要说，Web3 的这些游戏体验其实给我们很多的一些好处。第一个就是在游戏里面资产一个所有权。
And then the ability for game developers to build in-game economies.
然后再就是游戏开发者可以在游戏里面建立自己的一个经济体系。
Probably building a completely native blockchain game is quite an ambitious task right now.
如果要你建立一个完全自己的、自主的、原生的这个区块链，可能有一点太大的一个要求。
So this is how we can address it. So effectively, right now the problem is that if you're a gamer and you've spent weeks, months, years playing certain games and attaining certain assets within these games, if one day you stop playing that game, those assets become worthless to you.
那举例来说，如果你是一个游戏玩家呢，你花了非常多的时间在这游戏里面过关，取得非常多的这些游戏资产。但是有一天，如果你不想玩了，这些游戏资产也可以从游戏中转移出，可以把它换成对等价值吗？
Our infrastructure, however, allows a particular gamer to sell these in-game assets for a stablecoin and start to really use that stablecoin in the real world by transferring it out into fiat currency or purchasing something else in a different game.
那通过我们的基础框架，我们可以让这些游戏玩家把游戏里面的资产，透过贩卖的方式来去转换成这些稳定币，然后稳定币还可以再去转换成法定货币。那你这个游戏玩家就可以拿这些法定的货币再去进行其他的这些购买活动。
The second area is the ability to create in-game payment infrastructure. Now, if there's any gaming developers out there who are trying to do this, they'll understand that it's a very, very difficult task to build a marketplace where that allows people to buy, trade, and sell assets.
那我必须要说，对游戏开发者来说，在游戏里面建立一个市集，让这些玩家能够来去买卖交易这些游戏资产，其实是非常困难的一件事。
So what this technology allows, and blockchain technology in general, it allows you to use existing protocols and existing infrastructure to simply deploy marketplaces within your games. You don't need to recreate these things every time you create a game.
那通过目前的一个区块链的科技，你可以拿现有的这些市集，然后就直接把它移植到你的游戏的环境里面，你就可以创造出这样一个买卖的环境。
And the third benefit is that we're enabling completely new revenue opportunities for gamers.
那我必须要说，就第三个好处来说，就是对这些游戏的开发者，我们制造了新的一个获利的一个方式。
By enabling gamers to be able to sell their assets directly to a stablecoin, you're then allowing gamers to have an opportunity to build meaningful revenue streams by playing games effectively.
那通过这样的一个新的收入，你也可以在游戏开发者这边，你就让玩家有一个机会，在玩游戏的时候，透过这里面的这些资产来去转换成稳定币，然后让它变成一个新的收入。
Right. And then, of course, for gaming developers, you have new opportunities because then you can effectively become marketplace operators and take a commission of different transactions and different sales within the assets.
那对游戏开发者有什么好处呢？你也可以在这个游戏里面摆上自己的市集，那这时候你就变成一个市集的营运者，当里面有交易产生的时候，你也可以赚取相当的佣金。
So in summary, USDC is extremely stable, it is transparent, it is highly regulated, it is also available across currently 8 different blockchains, but soon to be 10. And later this year, I think we'll extend that to about 12.
那我必须要说，通过 USDC 你可以得到以下几点好处啊。第一个就是在价格这部分是非常稳定，再来是它是透明而且受到监管。再来就是目前 USDC 可以在8个区块链上面运行，那很快你会看到10个，甚至在年底可以看到有第12个区块链出现。
And again, what that practically means is that you can be a gaming developer building on a mutual. You can be building on Polygon. You can be building on Ethereum. You can be building on different blockchains, but still be able to use a single Circle account and the USDC as a stablecoin.
那我必须要说，身为一个游戏开发者，不论你是在哪个区块链，在 Polygon 上面，在以太坊上面，你都可以使用 Circle 的这个 USDC。
And then lastly, the solution is around the infrastructure that you're able to easily integrate within these games.
那我必须要说，还有一个重点就是 USDC 这一个基础建构，它可以让你很轻易的整合到任何一个环境里。
So this slide is to demonstrate a little bit more about what that practically looks like. What we are suggesting is that on the left side, you have traditional payment rails, Visa, credit card, ACH, wire transfers. And you use this to onboard your dollars or whatever the local currency is into the Circle universe.
那通过这张投影片，你可以很轻易的看到说，你要怎么把你现在使用的这些法定货币，简单的把它转换成 USDC。所以你可以使用你的 Visa， 你可以用你的信用卡，或者是你的 ACH， 或者是电汇等的方式来去转移你的这些资金，然后不论说你现在在本地是使用什么样的货币都可以，然后接下来去把它转换成 USDC。
Now, once it's entered into this ecosystem, into the blockchain infrastructure, that's when you can start to leverage all of the benefits that we've spoken about, which means instant settlement, lightning transactions, practically zero fees.
那透过这样的一个法定货币的一个转换，你现在取得 USDC 之后，才是真正你可以去利用它的这些所有的优点。你可以用它来立刻的支付任何的费用，你可以跨链转送、发送等。
And then when it's time to remove those funds, you can easily do that again through traditional payment methods and withdraw directly to bank accounts.
那你再把它换一个方向，你也可以把 USDC 再回到你原本的一个账户，然后转换成原本存入的这个法定货币。
Now, again, if we deep dive into the certain solutions that we have, we can focus initially on the left side, our payments APIs. The payment API allows you to build out a full marketplace that accepts traditional crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC, but also within the same widget, the traditional payment methods of credit card, bank transfers, and wire.
所以通过这个数位货币，你可以看到我们支持了一套非常完整的一个金融组件。那这边你可以看到，在左边在付费这边，你可以透过数位的加密货币，那这边有相关的 API 可以让你直接整合到你想要的这个环境里面。那你也可以把它转换成传统的这个法定货币。
Then as a gaming developer, you have access to account APIs. And these account APIs allow you to have multiple games and multiple ledgers that can net up with each other. So it allows you to build a highly, highly scalable universe of games and users.
所以游戏开发者可以把这一个 account 账户的 API 来去应用，然后你可以建立非常多不同的 ledger， 你就可以建立很多的不同的账户来去管理。
And then lastly, you have the payouts API. And that again allows you to give your users access to receive the funds in traditional cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC, and also fiat currency or US dollars.
那你再往这张投影片的右边来看，说你刚刚讲的是把钱存进去，但是你如果要 pay out， 把钱拿出来，你也可以用 pay out API 来把这些加密货币再转换成传统的法币，或者是你想要保留数位货币也是可以。
Now, beyond USDC, we also have EuroC, which shares the same properties as USDC, except in Euro.
所以除了 USDC 以外，我们还有 EuroC， 那这个就像是美金，但是它是在欧洲，所以它是欧元。
We also have recently acquired a Taiwanese company called Cybravo, which provides the full solution for an enterprise-grade marketplace.
那我们最近也在台湾购订了一家叫做 Cybravo 这样的一个公司。
And there's three main elements. One is to securely store the funds through a custody service.
那你可以看到它提供了许多的服务，一个是通过托管的方式的这个钱包。
Then there is a wallet SDK, which means you can use our services to create customized wallet experiences for your users.
那通过我们的这一个 Wallet SDK， 你也可以为你的使用者来去建立一个个别化的使用者经验。
And then finally, turnkey security and compliance solutions that allows you to comply with local regulation.
然后再来就是 turnkey 这一个安全解决方案，可以让你来去针对在地的这个法规的监管来去符合要求。
So in summary, and thank you for staying awake over the last 20, 30 minutes.
我们现在要总结了，谢谢大家还保持清醒。
There's three main things that I want you to remember from today.
那今天要大家记得的就是这3件事。
One is that stablecoins are set to disrupt the gaming industry.
我必须要说，第一件事是稳定币将颠覆游戏产业。
Two is that USDC is the most regulated, trusted, transparent stablecoin.
第二件事是 USDC 是受监管、透明而且值得信赖的稳定币。
And then three, that Circle allows you to build scalable in-game economies through existing infrastructure.
第3件事是 Circle 可以帮助您和玩家和开发者建立可扩大的游戏经济规模。
Lastly, this is an outdated slide, but it's an example of some of the partners that we have and some of the industries that we're in. One of them that you may be familiar with is NBA Top Shop. So NBA Top Shop is a client that uses USDC and Circle infrastructure to create their NFT marketplace.
那在这里面是张投影片，其实是我们有合作的一些伙伴和产业。那它还可以再更新，因为我们还有很多没有纳入在这张投影片里面。那其中大家可能比较知道的是NBA Top Shop， 它是贩卖一些这些区块链资产的一个平台。
And that concludes the formal part of the presentation. Thank you very much.